At 72, Mark McNulty lives a lonely life. That's what the headlines might have you believe, but nothing could be further from the truth. This is a man who has spent 5 decades building one of the most inspiring careers in golf, a career defined not by loneliness, but by unwavering strength in the face of unimaginable challenges. Mark McNulty is a legend who refused to let physical trauma define him. His story is one of comeback after comeback, a story that shows us what true resilience looks like. Before we dive deeper into his incredible journey, let's remember who Mark McNulty really is. Known as Super Mac, he's a man with 59 professional victories worldwide. His name sits second on the Sunshine Tour's all-time wins list, right behind the great Gary Player with 33 victories. He dominated the European Tour with 16 wins and later conquered the senior circuit with 8 more victories, but those numbers only tell part of his story. The real story is how he earned them, battling back from disasters that would have ended most careers before they began. McNulty's dominance started in southern Africa during the late 1970s and 1980s. He ruled the Sunshine Tour like a king. His command was so complete that he won the Order of Merit 8 times across 20 years, topping the money list in 1980 and 81, 1981 and 82, 1984 and 85, 1985 and 86, 1986 and 87, 1992 and 93, 1997 and 98, and 2000 and 01. He was the most dominant player across 3 different decades. In the 1986 season alone, he captured 7 official titles and won the $1 Million Challenge. This period built more than just a trophy collection. It forged a winner's mindset, a deep belief in his own abilities that would become his greatest weapon when facing the physical battles ahead. By dominating his home circuit so completely, McNulty created an identity as someone who simply knew how to win. That confidence carried him to the European Tour, where he added 16 more victories and pushed him into the top 10 of the world rankings for 83 weeks between 1987 and 1992, reaching a peak of number 6. His success wasn't limited to one region or one tour. He proved himself on the global stage, competing against the best players in the world and coming out on top, time after time. This worldwide recognition made his later comebacks even more remarkable because he had so much more to lose. When you're at the top, the fall can be devastating, but McNulty never let fear of falling stop him from climbing back up. His first tour victory came at the 1980 Holiday Inns Invitational in Swaziland, and from that moment forward, winning became his habit. He wasn't just good at golf, he was exceptional at finding ways to win even when conditions weren't perfect. His mental game was as sharp as his physical skills, and that combination made him nearly unstoppable on his home turf. Other players respected him not just for his talent, but for his consistency and his ability to perform under pressure. Then came November 1981 and everything nearly ended. While driving to a tournament in Johannesburg, McNulty's car collided at high speed with a bus near his parents' farm in Zimbabwe. He survived but suffered serious facial and neck injuries. At 28 years old, with his career just beginning to flourish, he faced a moment that could have stolen everything. The crash was violent and terrifying, the kind of accident that changes lives forever. Many people in his position would have considered themselves lucky just to walk away alive, let alone return to professional sports. What happened next was extraordinary. Most athletes recovering from such severe trauma would take months, maybe a year to return. McNulty was back on the golf course competing in the South African Open just weeks later, but he wasn't satisfied with just playing. On January 9, 1982, only 8 weeks after the crash, he won the CISA Classic in Durban. 8 weeks, from a near-fatal accident to standing in the winner's circle. The doctors who treated him couldn't believe it. His fellow competitors were amazed. But McNulty treated it like it was the only option he ever considered. This wasn't luck or good timing. This was McNulty sending a message to himself and the world that he would not be defined by his injuries. His resilience wasn't passive. It was active, almost aggressive. He didn't wait to heal. He forced himself to heal through action, through competition, through winning. That comeback set the blueprint for everything that followed. It proved to him that his body could be broken, but his will could not. The victory at the CISA Classic became a defining moment, a line in the sand that declared he was back and better than ever. If you're inspired by Mark McNulty's incredible comeback story, hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments which of his victories means the most to you. Was it that stunning win just 8 weeks after his car crash, or one of his later triumphs? Drop your thoughts below. But McNulty's battles were far from over. The car crash was a single dramatic event with a clear enemy to overcome. What came next in the 1990s was different and, in some ways, harder. It was a slow war against his own body. This wasn't about surviving one terrible moment. It was about surviving thousands of painful moments, day after day, year after year. In December 1993, while on vacation in Cape Town, McNulty suffered a freak nerve injury in his neck while playing cricket with his children. There was no glory in this injury, no heroic narrative. It was just bad luck during a family game. This type of setback tests an athlete differently because there's no dramatic story to fuel the comeback. It's frustrating and mundane. How do you stay motivated when your injury came from something as innocent as playing with your kids? The psychological challenge was different, but no less difficult than the physical one. Then in 1995, a knee injury cut his season short, marking the beginning of chronic joint problems that would haunt him for the next 15 years. This was the start of an invisible battle, a daily fight against pain that only he could feel. It offered no public recognition, just private suffering. Unlike the car accident, which happened in one terrible moment, this was pain that greeted him every morning and followed him through every round. It was the kind of injury that makes you question whether continuing is worth it. Every step hurt. Every swing reminded him that his body wasn't what it used to be. Yet incredibly, during this period of mounting physical problems, McNulty produced some of his finest golf. His 1996 season stands as proof of his extraordinary mental strength. While battling the lingering neck injury and growing knee pain, he won 3 times on the European Tour. His victories included the Dimension Data Pro-Am, the Sun Microsystems Dutch Open, and the prestigious Volvo Masters, the Tour's season-ending championship for the year's best players. To compete and win at that level while his body was betraying him showed a level of toughness few athletes possess. Every swing brought discomfort, but he never let it show. He played through pain that would have sidelined most people, and he didn't just participate, he won. His competitors had no idea how much he was suffering because he never made excuses or complained. By the late 2000s, the knee pain had become unbearable. McNulty later said he was simply unable to continue playing golf. The chronic arthritis had won the war of attrition. For the second time in his career, he faced the end. He had fought for 15 years, managing the pain with tape, temporary treatments, and sheer determination. But there comes a point when willpower alone isn't enough. But McNulty had one more comeback left. In spring 2010, he traveled to Chicago for a cutting-edge, minimally invasive total knee replacement performed by Dr. Richard Berger. The procedure was designed to spare the major muscles and soft tissues around the joint, allowing for a faster, more complete recovery. This was McNulty adapting once again, recognizing that modern medicine could give him what willpower alone could not. It was a smart decision, the choice of a man who valued his career enough to take a risk on surgery. The results matched the speed of his first comeback nearly 30 years earlier. McNulty was discharged from the hospital the same day as his surgery. Just 4 weeks later, he was hitting golf balls on a driving range, completely free of pain for the first time in years. He returned to the PGA Tour Champions, not just to play, but to win. Within a year of the surgery, he had recorded several top 10 finishes and a victory at the Liberty Mutual Legends of Golf. That 2011 victory was sweet in a way few wins ever are. It represented freedom from pain, vindication of his choice to undergo surgery, and proof that his career still had life in it. His second act on the senior tour was a triumph. He collected 8 victories, won a senior major championship at the 2007 Gelled Win Tradition, and earned the 2004 Rookie of the Year award. He also won the 2005 Byron Nelson Award for lowest scoring average, proving he wasn't just competing but excelling. His career became a bridge between 2 eras of athletic comeback. His 1982 recovery was pure grit and youthful toughness. His 2010 return showed wisdom and adaptability, the intelligence to embrace modern medicine when his body could no longer hold up on its own. He evolved as an athlete, learning that asking for help and using available resources isn't weakness, it's smart. Mark McNulty's career can be measured in numbers. 59 professional wins, 83 weeks in the world's top 10, a runner-up finish at the 1990 Open Championship at St. Andrews. These stats build a Hall of Fame-worthy resume. But the true measure of the man isn't in the wins. It's in the spaces between them, in the moments of doubt and pain that he conquered again and again. It's in the mornings he woke up hurting but chose to play anyway. It's in the surgeries he endured and the recoveries he pushed through. His journey redefines what it means to be a champion. True greatness isn't just about talent or winning when everything is going right. It's about the relentless will to return and win again after being broken. McNulty stared down a life-threatening accident and won. He endured a freak injury and won. He battled 15 years of chronic pain, had his body rebuilt, and won again. Each time he could have walked away with honor. Each time he chose to fight. Today at 72, Mark McNulty still competes. He's a living example of a career that refused to die. His story proves that human perseverance has no limits. The trophies will gather dust. The records might one day fall, but the lesson of his career will never fade. Mark McNulty's greatest achievement wasn't any single title. It was the unwavering strength that allowed him to build a legendary career against impossible odds. His life isn't lonely at all. It's full of accomplishment, pride, and the knowledge that he overcame everything the world threw at him. He's shown us that setbacks are temporary, but the spirit of a true champion is permanent. So before you go, make sure you're subscribed to this channel. Hit that like button if Mark McNulty's story inspired you, and tell me in the comments what comeback story in sports moves you the most. Thanks for watching, and remember, champions aren't made when everything is easy. They're made when they refuse to quit no matter how hard things get. Mark McNulty is proof that the human spirit, when tested, can achieve the impossible.